Hi, this is Gary. Welcome to today's video. So today we're going to be doing another unenveloping of this pen which has arrived from China. Now this pen is one of the cheapest pens that I've bought. So please join me down on the mat. We'll open up the envelope and we'll take a look at this pen. We'll load it with ink and we'll do a writing sample and we'll see, does the cost of a pen impact its ability to help you get your thoughts out of your head and down onto paper. So join me now and we'll jump straight into it. So here we are down on the mat. It's time to dive on in and look at what's in this package. So as I said, this pen is one of the cheapest ones I've bought. It was $2.50 Australian dollars. So really cheap pen. Does that mean I'm expecting a lot from it? Well, yes, I still expect the pen to write. But let's take a look anyway. So cut off the end. And let's slowly fetch out this pen. So here we have it. This is the pen that I ordered. So I ordered this from AliExpress and the title of the sale was One Piece Classical Business Fountain Pen Wood Grain High Grade Metal Signature Ink Pen Business Pens Office School Supplies. Quite a mouthful. I mean, it's amazing they've managed to get all those keywords into there. So anyway, what have we got? Well, it actually looks not too bad. Let's take this out of this packaging. Then we can take a look at it in its glorious colours. There we go. So looking at the pen, at the top here, we've got a brass coloured cap. Feels plastic. I mean, if it's brass at $2.50, I'll be amazed. That comes down to this nice clip. We've got a little bit of a logo on the top here. The clip, it's very stiff. I cannot get my fingers underneath it. Hopefully though, it will still slide into my shirt pocket. The cap itself then, is black plastic. Remember, I only paid $2.50 for this, so we're not expecting the most gorgeous pen ever. Personally, I still think this looks quite nice. So we've got this black plastic cap. That comes down again to this brass coloured end of the cap and a little bit of fancy on the start of the body. I actually like that. All this is helping to make the pen look a little bit more expensive. We've then got this wood coloured body. It's not wood. It feels plastic again to me. But again, $2.50. What do I expect? Bit more of that brassy coloured plastic. Then black cap, black end with, again, that brass coloured end finial. So altogether, I've got to be honest, I like the look of this pen. It looks nice. It looks a lot more expensive than what it really is. Let's take the cap off. So it's a twist cap. So there's half, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6. Oh, and it doesn't take the cap off, it takes the body off. Well, we now know it's 6 turns to take the body off. That's right, we'll go back and look under the cap in a minute. With the body off, again, we've got some metal fittings here, and then we've got a converter. I know I keep saying this is a $2.50 pen. It comes with a converter. Anyway, let's pop that body back on, and let's see now, can we get into the cap? Ah, there's my issue. I assumed the cap would twist off, it doesn't, it pulls off. So we take off the cap, and what do we reveal? Well, I actually think that nib is quite nice. It's got mainly gold coloured, and then it's got some silver accents to it. I think that looks quite nice. We've got some writing here. I'll leave that for you to read yourself. Turning it over, what do we expect? We expect a cheap plastic feed, and what do we get? We get a cheap plastic feed. Overall, not bad. It's a smallish looking nib, but again, what do I expect? So we're coming up, we've got a fairly wide gold coloured or brass coloured band here. Again, it feels plastic. Then that comes into the section. So the section is black plastic here. That only runs for a little bit, then it goes again back into this brassy coloured plastic. I would say the section overall into the body is 3/4 of this brassy coloured plastic and about 1/4 of the black. To me, that's fine. Let me just move my hand. I think it looks quite nice. You know, for what I've paid, I'm quite happy with what I've got. I've got a classic looking pen. I've got a nice, good looking pen. The next question is, does it write? Well, to find that out, I'll step away from the desk now. I'll go and give this pen a quick rinse through. We'll come back and we'll look at the ink and then we'll fill it and get on with our writing sample. So we're back now with the cleaned out pen. Let's take a look at the ink we're going to be using. Here it is. I've decided to use in this one a Robert Oster ink, and it's called Australis Oak. Now I've had this sample for quite a while and I think hopefully it'll look quite nice in this pen. One of my concerns is this pen's got a fine nib, so it could be that this ink is a little bit on the light side for it, but that's in a way a good thing because it means I can really test out and exercise through how that pen is working. So let's fetch in the trusty holder of my ink samples. So we've got Mr. Koala this time. Here comes that ink sample. As I say, it's just a sample. I like to get lots of different samples so I can try different colours to see the ones I like. Take the pen apart. So here we go. Stop that body from running away. So in it goes to the sample. Plunger comes up, down, back up again. And let's see what we've got. Well, that's quite a nice fill, especially when you consider it's a really cheap plunger. I'm just going to quickly wipe it off. Now, before I put this back together again, let me just get rid of the ink, because knowing clumsy Gary, he'll end up knocking the ink and it'll go all over the place. So with the plunger here, or the converter, this black plastic, when I got it out to clean it, well, that was loose. So I just twisted it back down, which to me means if I need to get in to clean out this converter, by the look of it, I can easily take this apart to get in there. It's not something I plan on doing, but it's nice to have that as an option. So I'll put the pen back together and I'll fetch in my trusty notepad. So here's my notepad. What I use is an Oxford pad, and it uses the optic paper. This paper is really nice fountain pen friendly paper. It's nice bright white and it tends to show off inks really well. I really like this pad. So let's start with our writing sample. So what have we got? Well, I'm not going to write that whole name. I'm just going to put it's an AliExpress Wooden Pen. It is definitely fine. In fact, it might even be tending towards being extra fine. The ink, as I said, it's Robert Oster. And it's Australis Oak. So it's an orange, but it looks more towards the yellow side of orange from what I can see so far. As I say, the issue with this, it's very fine, so it's hard to really see too much. Our wetness, so we go immediate. It's actually quite wet. I'm going to leave it now for 10 seconds. Not too bad. 30 seconds. Well, 30 seconds, that's dry. There's no point doing a minute. Overall, quite nice to write with. As I say, it's fairly light, but I was expecting that. The pen actually writes quite nicely. What we'll do is, for the next writing sample, I'm going to move the microphone down close to the paper so you can hear it write. So I'm not sure if you can hear that. It's certainly scratchy. You know, you definitely can feel it, and you can feel it dragging across the paper. Now, a lot of my pens are a lot more smoother than this, but I think this is something that I can work on. So just fetch that pen back in so we can see it. You know, I can certainly smooth the nib. I'd like to try and increase the ink flow as well. I mean, yes, it seems quite nice, but I think if I can get some more ink coming out of it, it will really help with fetching out a bit more of the character of the pen and the ink. But we've got to remember, this pen was $2.50. It's dirt cheap. You know, what do you expect when you're paying that sort of money? I'm not expecting it to be in the Pilot Custom Heritage type of pen. I'm expecting it to be what it is. It's a cheap pen that lets me still get my thoughts out of my head and onto paper. Yes, the state it's in at the moment, it does need some work, but that's fine. That's something I can play with. And to be honest, it's one of the things that attracts me to these cheap pens, because I can then play around with the nib and I can try and experiment on different ways to try and improve the nib and improve the performance. And if I end up messing up the pen, who cares? It's $2.50. Whereas if I was messing around with even one of my Pen BBS pens, which are like $50 odd, I'd be quite upset if I messed up the nib on that. So overall, quite pleased with it. My thoughts of this pen: looks really nice, looks what it is, it looks plastic, but that doesn't matter because it still looks quite attractive. It fits quite well in the hand, you know, so for my writing, as you can see there, it's got a nice length to it. Let's see if it posts. Yeah, that posts, and it's quite secure. To me, that makes it too long because, well, I like my pens to be a bit shorter. But that's fine, it will still post. But yeah, just in this position, it's really nice. You know, let me just glide it across the paper, so I'm putting no pressure on, so we're getting no ink coming out at all. Well, again, what do we expect? But with a little bit of pressure, you know, we are getting that ink coming through. So my first impression of this pen, yeah, I've got what I ordered. I've got what I paid for. I'm quite happy with this pen, and it's one of the ones I'm really looking forward to playing around and using it really to grow my skills in how to get the best out of a nib. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please hit that thumbs up button, give it a like. What do you think of this pen? What do you think of the cheaper pens? I'd love to start getting people's thoughts about how they would use these cheaper pens, or if they wouldn't use them. Please drop a comment below. Let's kickstart that conversation. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.